Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I'm using a different platform tonight. As you can see, I've got my name down here. I believe you've got sound. I might be out of sync because I'm using a virtual camera. But well done to Lou and also to Ingo Konolhorski, who's just cost me a lot of money because I said to Mrs. Rhoda Wayne, I'm going to pick the most random part of a film, which no one's going to have a clue what the still is. And I picked just that scene from Fifth Element because their space shuttle was in loads of movies. And yeah, you two got it. Now, Lou, I don't know if you saw my poster I held up on the screen, but wow, I didn't expect Ingo to get it as well. So yeah, I screwed that up well and truly. So now I owe Mrs. Rhoda Wayne something when we're on holiday, which a bit crazy. But I'm glad I'm streaming tonight, and I'm glad I'm joined here by Lou and Phil. I'll be bringing those in a second. I just want to give you an idea of what's been going on. I've had a bit of a tough week family-wise this week, which is why the Route Master didn't come out yesterday. That's going to happen when I come back from my holidays. So today you had the Jaguar. But yesterday, and I don't think I put this on any social media, we almost lost Phoebe yesterday, the dog. I believe she's way better now. She's a completely different dog today. I think she might have had heat stroke because yesterday she was pretty much unresponsive, being sick. It was pretty scary. So I sat with her pretty much all day yesterday. I didn't do anything on the YouTube channel. And around about 4 o'clock, she piped up, and now she just keeps bugging everyone for food. So she's back to her usual self. You're going to have low video tonight because it's streaming through another program. So you will find that on the catch-up stream, it will be clearer. But while we're doing this, it's not going to be as sharp as it normally is, just so you know. But we are streaming in 1080p, but it does take technology time to get up. So let me just tell you where we're coming from at the moment. Stand by. If you remember, on the 31st of May, last year, 31st of May, just over 2 months ago, we made this announcement, and this is a great reveal for Lou. Just seeing Lou's face at the end of this comment. Watch this. We're building the 1960s time machine from the George Powell film, The Time Machine. And if anyone wants to know how the relevance with the spoilers without context, we've got the Dalmatian. Now, Rod Taylor played the voice of Pongo in 101 Dalmatians.
I thought it was about my last name.
No. I think that's great. Absolutely great. But we had a great time. And to be honest with you, that day, apart from looking at Lou's amazing man cave with all the treasures, it was like Aladdin's cave, actually, or Ariel's cave. It was a cave full of wonders. But we were deciding how we're going to do the time machine. And obviously, we all had the same kits. So we all had the same starting spot. But you're about to see how things changed as we went along, and we all pretty much did our own thing, which is pretty crazy. And unlike the other builds that myself and Phil did, like the ET spaceship and the Orca, it did seem like we were working on different things at different times, which is pretty crazy. Looks like the video started from when YouTube it was. The quality is just it's going for a different program tonight. That's the difference tonight, and it has to because I'm bringing in some guests. So I'm going to bring in Lou and Phil. So hopefully this will work. There you go. and we've got a lovely background as well. So
very impressive.
And
very
you okay?
Impressive. Yeah, everything's good. I'm still trying to get my head around Ariel's cave and trying to connect the dots there, but I'll be okay. I'll be with it.
It is no man cave. It is a man cavern.
Well, the thing is,
Phil, for sure.
Sorry, Lou. The thing is, you keep making these ginormous models like the one behind you there, and there's me thinking, where are you putting that?
I have no idea. I've got no idea.
You're going to need to build another extension. So what we've done is we've basically filmed our reveals. Lou's done one, I've done one, Phil's done one, and I think we're going to do it in that order. No, it's just a complete random order, and I've got to pre-program this software with that. So stand by while I just do that. Hopefully this will work. There we go.
And
okay, this is
while you're doing that, I just want to let you know I had to jump off of this, go over to YouTube, open up a new browser, get to YouTube just in time to type Fifth Element, and then close it all back down and get back.
I wondered how you did that. I couldn't figure it out.
No, because there's no way. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't join in the comments here unless I see something. Then I'll just yell it out. But I can't.
All right,
I can't comment.
Well, then what I'll do, because I can't either, Lou. So what I'll do is, if I want to comment, I will call you, and then you can run in the other room and type it up, and then run back.
I will send a carrier pigeon out to you.
Well, we'll have a break between each video to discuss it, but you're going to be amazed by how different some of these things are because, we all went in our own direction. So, okay, so this is Aztek Dummy. This is Lou Delmaso's time machine.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Okay, I have to say that one of the most enjoyable elements of making this kit was doing the flocking. Doing the flocking on the chairs and on this footrest. I think that was the most fun. And it was the biggest bang for the buck as far as instant gratification as how the thing looked. It's like instantly done. It's you put the flocking down, and it's like putting 9 coats of paint on it. It's beautiful, and it gives it such a finished look, an unusual look right away. Also, I'm just going to go from feature to feature. I think the getting the cages and the big brake light cage, getting those 3D printed, I think was a game changer, only because I don't think I could have made anything that nice with the bending wire or even using the kit parts. The kit parts for that were not that great. So having the ability to get these designed for me and me printing them out, I think it made a tremendous bit of difference. Going from front to back, if I had the ear of the guy who makes the kit, Mr. Mike of Mike's Models, this piece here is probably the weakest link as far as it being bowed and out of shape. I don't know if there was any way to cast a metal bar in that to straighten it out, or what needs to be done to help that. But this curve in it was kind of disappointing at the end to come down to it and have that curve in there. Although I have to say, having said that, it also saved my bacon when it came to the dish, because the dish and printing my own dish, thank you, Ian, for giving me the file to print my own dish and to print dishes for the other two gents, because this profile on the edge of the dish is still better than the one that comes with the kit. And since 95% of the time the kit's going to be sitting still, even without the lights on and the motor running, that dish still looks better. Now also I don't want to get too far into the weeds with this, but cutting these paint masks and cutting this bit in vinyl really helped, because I can't imagine that the decal for that would have been that good to use. It wouldn't have been, for the amount of light pumping through it, it wouldn't have been a solid light block like this is. So using the black vinyl, I think, was definitely the right step. And now, of course, the elephant in the room is the bevel gear versus putting the motor in the ball or whatnot. First of all, thank you to Jeff Fink for the ball. Have to thank him again. I stand by my desire to do that with a bevel gear, putting the motor in the base and then running the 90-degree bevel gear. I still think you get the best result with that. That's my opinionated opinion. It allowed me to have this nice narrow neck here. Now I know Wayne had to make his more of a straight up and down stack to support the ball with his, or the 90-degree gear on his motor. That's great. It worked fine for him. I just liked having that narrow neck there and doing the central shaft up the center Well, that's how all central shafts work. They work up the center. But doing that allowed me to have that narrow neck, which I thought was a telltale iconic part of the design. Now, I still have not glued the chair down. I don't think that I will, only because when it comes time for me to transport this, I can put the chair in its own box and protect the flocking on it while I am moving the rest. But you all came to see the party piece of everything turning. And here is the motor, of course, in the neutral position. I'm going to put the camera up. Let me turn this light out so that you can see. The lights are all lit. I have my birthday as the target date. The brake light is on. The date lights are on. And when time comes to turn it on, you push the key forward. Slowly it turns step by step. Front lights come on, cone lights come on, and the wheel turns. Now it doesn't, if you do this, the closer you get to profile, the uglier it gets. The closer you get to 3/4 or the front view, the better it looks. And I gotta pull the camera back to get the whole thing in camera. And then of course you can speed it up. Intermittent engine noise, it doesn't bother me. I do have to make sure that this wobble is all away from the edge of the rail here. And then we shut it down. Brake light comes on, engine stops, everybody's happy. Again, side decals I put on, I did not put on these decals. And I did use the base with the wheels in it. I think it obviously makes it move easier. I did put the front feet more like a shopping cart than how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be splayed out this way, but I put them all facing forward. So that's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. But the key is removable. That was one of the that was not an official requirement, but everybody was going to do that. The official requirement was that the arm of the chair come up, and that was accomplished. Here, I'll show it to you on this side, that this arm of the chair was on a hinge. That was the first requirement, and the second requirement was that everything lit up and spun, and I've accomplished both of those. And this is going backwards. Of course, we've got the dates spinning and doing the date lights lighting up. I did change the programming just a tiny bit so that when these blinked, it would, instead of going yellow, 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 green, it goes yellow, 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 yellow and green. And then yellow, yellow, and then, you know what I mean. Eventually, it's green, yellow, and red all at the same time. I will shut this off now. Oops. And it goes to a stop. But that's the time machine.
Cool. I've just got to unmute us. I realised that we can probably talk over the top of that, you know.
I ran out and got my phone so I could be on the phone.
Yes, I've got my phone too.
I've been looking at the chat, so we're all fun. But that was loser. I actually didn't have my thing come out. I needed to have mine completely resined in because it weren't going to work otherwise.
Well, you should, you can see there's doctors that'll treat that.
And,
now, you didn't get a lower speed on the reverse though, did you? It's the same speed forward and back.
No, I didn't turn it up all the way higher on the when I turned it back. That was the low speed.
Okay.
I've got the two speeds going.
Well, wait till you see my low speed.
and Berg, to try and balance the wheels, it's pretty much impossible. The resin casts that we had were really bad. I used the resin cast. I think I was the only one that used the resin cast. Lou had done the 3D print with the resin printer, which were a lot better and a lot more balanced, but you still had that wobble. I don't know how you'd get that out without having weights or something.
I think a lot of that was in my gearing too. Was not precision, mechanically precise enough to take some of the wobble out.
Yeah. Now
The fact that it didn't fly off across the room was good enough for me.
Now I have to say, without giving anything away, I didn't have that wobble. I didn't, and I've got 8 seconds of video to prove it.
Well,
Wayne's
Chinese takeaway had no wobble either.
No, it didn't. I was waiting over a month for the disc to come. I mean, Lou posted it, and it came to England in about 4 days. But from Heathrow Airport to my house took like a month and a half. That's our UK postage system. But the we're gonna be seeing mine in a second. But when we were sitting down in Lou's house and putting all the things together, Lou's, yours is the closest to how we planned it to start off with the bevel gears and the encased ball and stuff like that. We didn't have an idea about the ball going into it. We didn't know how we were going to do that. And we all picked different ways. So Lou's actually used a resin ball that was printed, a resin 3D printed ball. I've used the actual ball that came with it, and Phil, you used the metal ball that you've managed to get manufactured. All of us have used what we've affectionately called the bowling pin, and that's what the thing is between the gear and the disc. I think we all used that, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Cool.
But before you go to your video, can we give a big shout out to Ian Campbell?
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
For our Sprueverse Challenge cushions, which I am so grateful to him for.
They are excellent.
And that we will be using those. And anybody who doesn't have a cushion needs a cushion, because you can't build without them. I mean, we use foam and towels and everything else, but these cushions are awesome.
It also helps when you're beating your head against the wall to have this
The cushion. Yeah.
To keep yourself from permanent injury.
But I'm glad. I've used mine today. I mean, to be honest with you, Ian, I've been using this one all the time now. So it's my
and
go-to
also
cushion.
let's another big thank you to the great Jeff Fink. I've not painted mine yet. I've not done anything to my pedestal, but beautiful, and of course printed by the great Lou Delmaso. But that was very kind of Jeff to do that.
Lou's, but you painted yours, haven't you? It looks excellent. Yeah, that's in his final video, I think, as well.
In the final video, it's in the other room.
Well, I mean, if you want to go and see these other channels, the link's in the video description anyway. But obviously, just type in Sprueverse, Aztek Dummy, or World of Wayne, you'll find all of our channels. So,
and I can go. We can go ahead and make our videos public today, right?
Yeah, you can do. Okay. And this video will be available on a Google Drive for you to put on your channels as well. So that's all cool. Okay, so we've seen Lou's. It's time for mine. God help me. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and it's time for the World of Wayne reveal for the time machine. And this is what it's looking like here. Now, I actually recorded some of this over on my workbench of it all working. But it did occur to me after I finished filming, hopefully that gave you a quick insight of what you're about to see. It did occur to me after filming, and I turned it off for the last time, I'm probably never going to power this again because it's going to go on a shelf up here, and I don't plan to have it powered or lit, and I can't have it spinning all the time. That would just drive me crazy. So it's now a static model. So interesting, but it is nice to know that I've got the potential for it to work. I had got it powered by a power supply in the back, but here, as you can see, I've got it on battery power now. But I'll turn that off before I show you the big reveal of this. This was an amazing build, I have to say. And I said, just looking at it, the reason I brought it up here is just so you can see the size of it. It's pretty much bigger than the ET spaceship we did, and it towers over the Orca as well. This 1/6 scale is absolutely ginormous, but I know you're here for the reveal, so let me show you exactly what this does. Okay, what we have here is the World of Wayne finished time machine, which I'm really impressed with. I'm really happy with. As you can see, it's in its stop position, so the brake light's on and the date lights are on. One of the stipulations was to have the arm reds lift. I've actually got both sides of mine lifting. But unlike the other two, my little lever here doesn't come off. But it was a struggle, this whole thing. Now, the whole chair in the back is flocked. I've even flocked this surface here. And pretty much the disc is the original disc. So pretty much everything on this model is the original pieces, including the dome as well. The only thing that isn't is the metal bowling pin, as we've been calling it, that Phil managed to source. I never used any of the other metal items that you can see there, but that was the bowling pin done. So we've managed to get the Sprueverse challenge of the armrest coming up. The thing is lit up. Does it work? So when I turn this on, as you can see, the lights come on, and more importantly, the disc is spinning. So I'll just turn that off. Now when you turn it off, unfortunately, you see how sharp that goes to stop. There's no leeway to be going like fast or gradual slow. It goes completely to stop. But in this position here, just so you can see, the lights are on slow, and then they go really fast. So pretty cool. Now these cages here that came from Lou, I mean, they really kick off this model. That one there and the one at the back there. But again, this is the original disc. This isn't Lou's disc. It hadn't turned up, so I just did my own thing for it. But there you go. That is the time machine completed, which I'm really happy about. And then one more time. This time, that's the lever, by the way. Let's go backwards in time. And as you can see, there you go. Challenge complete. Now I have turned the lights off because I didn't really explain the lights that we've got on here. So apart from the brake lights that we've done, and I obviously made these coil switches as you saw in the last video, we do have cone lights here and here to go on as well. So if I start this running, the other lights I haven't showed you is the cone lights here, and also the rear cone lights on as well. So when I turn this back off, like that, and the brake light comes on, they turn off, as you can see. And then once again, if I was to start this, I like the sepia tone this light gives. As you can see, cone lights on at the back, and the brake lights turned off. Pretty happy. That looks excellent. Great. Okay, we should be able to hear again now. He muted us. So the yeah, I use the original disc and trying to get that balance. These guys know. Phil suggested put it into warm water and it should balance. But me being overzealous thought, well, if warm water can do the job, what does boiling water do? So I put it in boiling water. No lie, it went like a pancake. But it does have a memory in it. So if you put it back in hot water and just leave it to cool, it'll eventually find its normal shape again. So that's how it still managed to have that semicircular sort of shape on it. But yep, did have a wobble. The wobble was a lot worse. And believe me, when it's on fast, if I kept it on fast for too long, the whole time machine would be doing this. So it was fun. But with my one, with the I was going to use the metal balls that Phil managed to get a hold of, but I wanted to see what was inside that little dome section. I think I've still got it over here. And it turned out that there's, in the bowling pin, there's a metal rod that goes through it. So you can't really drill it out. You're just going to destroy the whole thing. It's going to need to be either 3D printed or what Phil did, get it manufactured out of metal. But with the ball section, that had metal in it as well. And I don't know how I managed it, but I was sitting there one day with my little Dremel and I managed to pull out all the metal from inside the ball. And now I used a right angle motor. Lou and Phil, you used the same motor, didn't you, with the long spindle on it? I think
we used the same motor.
Yeah. So
mine was in the base and it went up to a 90-degree bevel gear.
So we've all used the same motor, except my one didn't have the straight rod coming out of it. Mine was at a 90-degree angle, but I managed to get that in the ball. I don't know how.
We lost Phil again. Did we lose Phil?
I'm doing my TK421. Why weren't you at your post?
Phil,
oh no! It's me.
Yeah.
Try again. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
All right.
that was
Can
me.
you hear me now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I keep getting a banner that says "host muted my mic," and I don't blame you.
It was me. Was you saying
Yeah,
something? Sorry.
yeah, no, nothing ever relevant. But you know, the motor. It's interesting. These motors. I think if we could go back in time and really have sat down and thought about it, it would have been really nice to have understood what power motor we really needed, and finding motors that I think were perhaps a little more compatible with what we were doing. I'm not entirely convinced any of us had the right motor, but anyway.
It's all cool. So that's 2 time machines down.
Oh, you're going to save the worst for last.
It's the best for last. I haven't preloaded it. 1 second. I need to find the video. Here we go. It's here. So this is Phil's time machine.
So here we are, the final reveal of the 1/6 scale resin time machine. This is the Sprueverse challenge, and here we are. And I'm going to put the brake on, and we can see that she's all finished and looking pretty awesome. Let me get a little more light on here. I'm in the shadows just to try and accentuate the light a little bit. So. Beautiful kit. Everything came together really well. As you can see, most of the challenge was successful, and part of it was a complete abject failure, and I'll explain why in just a second here. The hinged arm is here, so there that is, and looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. She's let's get her in there properly. I flocked the chair as everyone else did, and she was also not just flocked, but I also used some velvet carpeting here for the floor. I didn't flock that. Wayne's chip is in the control surface here. You can see we have a removable key, which is right here. And I'll show you that in the close-up. Here it is. And I'm super happy with that. And that goes into the key holder there. And you can see in the off position, let me turn it so you can see. So in the off position, we get brake lights, we get the brake light, we get the control lights on. When you advance the key, you can see we get in the fast mode, we get everything moving, and we can slow that down to a stop. You can see the brake light go on in the rear, and we can go into slow mode in the back. So that's all working beautifully. What I don't have is a motor for my spinning dish. So essentially, I think my arrogance got to me, but my mechanicals were not sound. And I think what happened was that the motor itself actually snapped away from its internal holding. I should have used epoxy putty to wrap around the motor housing, and I should have made triple sure that it couldn't move. I suspect because of the speed of the motor, it took off like a banshee, snapped the internal bar that was holding the motor down to the sphere, and of course ripped the wires out of their housing. Now, curiously, what I don't understand is why I don't have light to my rear
spheres. I don't know what happened. Everything checked out before I started. They're not working now. My front lights are working, but they're not as bright as they should be. Curiously, everything else works. When you put it in the off position, you can only see the day and date, and I'll show you that. What's the best way to show you that? Oh, here we go. There. So day and date is working, and you can see my brake light is working. And of course, when you come in and you advance the key, everything starts working, and then it goes super fast when you go super fast. And you can slow it down to different versions that you want. That's when this dish is supposed to spin. And sadly, that dish is not spinning. So, you know, I'm a little brokenhearted, but I have a beautiful model. And for the most part, the rest of it is working quite well, as you can see. So we just don't have a motor that's running. Now, it was running, and then all hell broke loose. It was running so fast, that's why I said it. I think it snapped the motor. But she's a beauty, and I couldn't be happier with her. I'm going to turn the lights on right now real quickly so that we can get a look at her in all her glory before we call this a wrap. Here she is, with all the lights on. And again, you know, here she is from the top view. I did a painted grain on my base. Chair was flocked and hinged. I used a velvet carpet, as I said, for the foot pad. All of the paint masks supplied by Lou and these decals are just absolutely stunning. They really make it, and it made it a pleasure to paint these the side drums as well. The dish itself, of course, looking absolutely beautiful. I'm really sort of happy with the dish, and that came out really well. Otherwise, everything else looks really good. So happy with all these details. The beautifully 3D printed cones at the top. Everything looks pretty good. So there you go. The time machine, Sprueverse challenge, partially successful. Bit of a failure on the engine side, but really enjoyed it.
There you go. That was some drama.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, can I just defend my arrogance for just a second? Because the great Lou was kindly trying to give me hints from the very beginning, you know, and going slower. Yes, one of the subscribers absolutely should have gone slower. But let me tell you what's fascinating about this is I've learned a major lesson from doing this, and that is, you know, Lou has this famous saying, belts and suspenders. Now I know what that really means, is make sure that what you're doing can actually not only do what it's supposed to, but it's capable of holding itself together, because that's where I fell apart. In my arrogance, I had the motor in the shaft. Because the shaft was so small, I thought no problems, it can hold it. And of course, I didn't put any epoxy putty around it to give it a cocoon to make sure it couldn't go anywhere. And when I turned it on and that dish started spinning, boy, was it spinning. And I think that speed, it snapped inside of the housing. There was nothing to hold it, and that was the end of that.
That must have broke your heart.
It did. It really did. I was pretty depressed for quite a while, I have to say. But you know, there's a part of me that perhaps one day wants to go back in, open that up, and repair it, because I think it's worth it.
It wouldn't be a bit. I mean, it's just probably a couple of wires, really, isn't it? So it's
Well, cutting into that ball and breaking everything down is a challenge. But
So how did you put the ball together? Was that some sort of like epoxy weld or
JB Weld?
JB Weld? Wow.
Yeah, which is it wasn't going anywhere. But and I didn't think I'd ever have a reason to go back in. But on the bright side, it looks beautiful on the shelf.
No, I bet. And you know what? Something I've noticed from the Orca, especially the Orca, your Chitty Chitty Bang Bang you've just done. If you haven't seen that, go check out the Sprueverse channel. And this one, you seem to have an affinity for painting wood. Your wood looks amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the base, and also the hand rest, just the weathered looks on the sides, and it's amazing.
Thank you. It's years of being in theater in high school and learning how to put wood grain on flats. But while we're on the subject of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Lou, tomorrow it all goes in the mail to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm getting his leftover parts.
Oh, bless.
But the one other thing I would like to say about this whole thing is that I really can't thank everybody enough, including all of the subscribers from all the channels, for their support and kindness, and really cheering us on. And it's just so grateful to be part of this community. I really am. I mean, these challenges now really demonstrate what happens when we can all come together and enjoy our hobby together. So just thanks to everybody.
This is great, and also 3 YouTubers from completely different sides of the world getting together. Yeah, we'll have to get cool. To London next.
Absolutely, be careful what you wish for.
I'd like to thank the ability of peer pressure here, because there were times that had I not had the fine companionship of these 2 gentlemen to finish this kit, it would have been found in a shallow grave in the backyard. But knowing that I had to finish this spurred me on to finish it.
I've only done that with 1 model so far, but there could be 4 others that I'm doing it for. So
you know what's interesting is it is curious, actually, Lou, over the years. I mean, I'm asking Lou, like Lou knows, but there have been several attempts at making this kit. I know of the original kit that I still have actually was from a company called Luna Models many years ago, which actually I think Mike Evans owned, but I don't recall. But anyway, and then of course there's Mike Evans's build, which we used, and then there's the Masterpiece Models build,
which
and there may even be 1 or 2 more. But my point is in all that time, I mean, with all due respect, I mean, yes, I struggled with some of the mechanics of it, but the fundamentals, we knew how to get this to move. So I'm a little puzzled as to why they never really worked on putting a kit together that could do what we did.
Well, I know that there's another build going on now that what has made me happiest about all this is people that have got either Mike's or they've got the Masterpiece Models kit, and they've decided to drag it out of their stash, dust it off, and give it another shot. I've heard from people saying, yeah, it was intimidating, and it can be an intimidating kit. Yeah. But to sit down and say, well, if these 3 idiots can do it, I suppose anybody can. So if there's no other function that we provide, that's a public service, that's enough,
Well, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, if people want to do this for themselves, I have put the link in there for the Arduino code and how to put it in there. But we are looking at seeing if we can get some stuff together that if you do buy this kit, then you could get that as an additional upgrade as well. But we're just chewing the fat on that at the moment, to be honest with you. But if you wanted to get going straight away, I've already had 2 people, I don't know if you know that, who have successfully got all the electrics and stuff working on it. So it's how they get the engineering part was always going to be the bit that's going to trip us up, I think, because it was just when we first opened the box, it was like, well, we could do this or this could happen. It's like we didn't really know until we actually started building it. So it's quite good.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I don't know how I feel about it's very interesting. I don't know how I feel about all of this wiring, electronics, and motors and everything else in these kits. There was a day where just building a bunch of models from sprues out of a box was incredibly satisfying, and painting them. And it was just looking at these static models. It was beautiful. And then, we all started seeing, in the last 15 years, if you look at how this hobby has absolutely exploded, I should say, in terms of technologies, with putties and glues and wiring and electronics and everything else. I mean, it is incredible to think of what we have today, 3D printing, versus what we had 10 years ago. I mean, it has evolved the hobby in very interesting ways.
My next Starship will have a functioning warp core.
Well, I mean, the amount of Star Treks they keep pumping out at the moment with the Picard, and they're rumoring an Enterprise F, aren't they? So you never know, you might have even more ships.
Yeah, they better be careful if they've gotten to Enterprise F. I don't know where that goes from there.
Well, plenty of folks like the D. So.
Oh, come on, Lou. That's almost as bad as my blooming innuendos at the end of today's stream.
No, I had to feel at home.
Well, we've got a lot of people asking us about what the next challenge is. We haven't actually discussed any other challenge. We don't know what we're going to do. So,
well, Wayne, tell them what the prerequisites have to be.
The prerequisites.
Remember, we sat down and said it had to be something that none of us had built before.
Yeah. Something
that we're all interested in doing, and something fairly self-contained, and that's pretty much all that there is to it.
Well, I think Lou should pick the next one then.
I picked this one, didn't I?
He picked this one.
Oh, did he?
I
think you.
No. I can't take any credit for this. I think it's your turn, Wayne.
Oh, I haven't got a clue. I'll have to have a look around.
Yeah, I think it's your turn to throw down the goal.
I'll put my mind to it.
By the way, Lou, could you stand up for just a minute, because I can't see the shirt you're wearing. Oh, yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Who noticed we're all wearing each other's shirts?
Thank you for that.
That's just the way my camera is.
Thank you for that shameless plug.
I'll attribute all the shame I need to.
But I mean, at the moment, Lou on his channel, he's been building that Frankenstein. Is that from like the 1930s? Is it?
This is a classic Frankenstein lab accoutrement from Stanarts. Yes.
Did you see that little thing I sent you about you can colorize the picture and get an idea?
No, I never heard of that.
Well, you can take the black and white still from the film, and the colors you've got, those little insulators, are pretty much bang on it, because you can colorize the black and white image. You see?
Right. Well,
I just took a screen grab and colorized it.
Okay.
But
I just went with things that I remember seeing.
Big shout out to that Stanarts, by the way, because is it the Tauntaun?
The Han Tauntaun is.
Yeah, I've ordered one.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I mean, you really inspired me, and seeing it at Wonderfest. I mean, it's a beautiful sculpt.
They also do a Stormtrooper on a dewback, which is.
Yeah, they do. I saw that, and I almost bought that one as well. They do beautiful work.
Yes, and they have cracked they have solved the riddle of 3D printing clear. I mean, you drop those things into the Tamiya clear, and you can see straight through them. They're beautiful.
Wow,
extraordinary.
And Phil, you've got to build the tripod that you bought that Lou completed on his channel.
I do. Yeah, I do. I wanted to put some light in it, but I haven't done it. Is it?
Yeah, well, the head you could, but running wiring and power to it, unless you did it up through the leg. Well, I'm just thinking, because it's got metal cast into the legs,
right?
But I don't know how far up it goes. I would say you could go to the power it at the base and then make contact with the metal feet.
Right.
But I don't know how far up the leg it goes.
Right. Wayne, you just built the Pegasus war machine from War
Yeah,
of the Worlds.
I did. And something interesting about that, Phil, that we bought this together when we were Burbank's House of Hobbies.
Yeah.
I think it was priced up wrong, because all the prices for that in this country are over £100, and we paid $39 for it, which is the price of the original kit without the plating.
Right.
So I think
No, I don't think so. I mean, Brett, Brett, who owns House of Hobbies, he's been actually buying up the. Sadly, I mean, he's the last model shop now. In the valley. There may be one more, but not even close. More with trains and stuff. But he is officially the last one we have in LA, central Los Angeles. There may be others on the outskirts in other towns, but in LA he is it, and he's been buying up all of the various different stocks. And he's not marking. He's got great prices, and he's online as well.
But that's what I mean. The prices are too great, because the cheapest I found this in America was $79.
Wow.
We paid $40.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow.
Yeah, he's got great prices. He really does.
It was amazing. So I mean, to get it for that price as well. And I don't know if anyone's seen my TikTok I did of this, but I'm up to like 30,000 views on it. It's crazy.
Now, what did you use? You used an Arduino board to have the lights breathing?
All the lights on that are wired directly to a battery. Me and Lou were talking about this before the stream started, but the eye light is connected. It's the one light connected to a Nano. That's it. To make that blink.
Through Evan's design, they've got breathing lights now on their own resistor. And they're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. You don't need a board. I mean, personally, for what Evans is doing now, there's not a lot you need a board for anymore.
Well, no, and Ralph has a board for the War Machine that will speed up the breathing and get it up to where it's ready to go, and then a constant on while it's firing.
Right.
So you go through the whole cycle.
Right.
The thing is, after the time machine build, I bought about 50 boxes of these because they kept
oh, please. That's nothing.
Phil, how many boards did you go through, Phil?
You know what? That's just rude. Every time I looked to the board, it blew. I mean, I didn't even have to turn it on; it just blew. I mean,
we all threatened to throw in our pile of leftover parts. I've got
at one point, I was driving them both crazy. I don't know what I'm doing. How do you plug in? It's like, oh, what a nightmare. I mean, I don't know what it is with my brain. I sometimes, and finally I do get it. The light does go on, but maybe I need an Arduino board in my head.
I mean, I got through about 4, I think. I think this is the 5th one that was in the time machine. So, I
will say this, though. I can confidently say that whatever. That the board can handle a 9-volt transformer with a 2 amps perfectly. It will take what it needs. So all of my paranoia about that was just completely unfounded.
We'll talk about that for a second, because both of you guys were braver than I. When you were putting your front console together, you did all of that work and then shoved the board in from one side. Yeah. I cut a big honking hole out of the bottom of mine so that I could just slide it up and then cover the hole back up.
Just so you know that I couldn't think of we all had pre-wired rails in our one, but I don't think any of us used that, did we? We made our own wires. So even though we had this upgrade for it, we all did our own thing and channeled.
But that wasn't. I mean, I know we're going to talk to Mark, and I don't know how that's going to go. But I don't think that was well thought out, in my opinion. I think
if that console were 2 pieces front and back, it would have helped tremendously.
Yeah, but what I did ultimately ended up doing, because I was really afraid of shorting something, is I got my Cool Shot glue gun. On low, and I covered the entire back of it.
Yeah.
And let that set up, and it went in like a charm. Nothing pulled on it, and it went in. But it was not fun to get all those wires in there. But one of the things I want to learn is I want to be better at how I organize my wires.
I think this definitely had the old Back to the Future 3 moments that I did mention in the video, that there were 2 points of no return. Once that thing was closed up, we weren't going back. And then again, with the gears at the back, once that was closed up, you're done. So that was what's scary about this build. You couldn't really go back on where you got to there.
No, but you know, looking at them, it's a beautiful model. I mean, it's great fun to have it in a collection because it's a classic film, and
iconic,
it's so unique. I mean, there's nothing like it, and I have to say, not a single mass production company ever took it on. It required, you know, and when you go back in time and you think about prior to. Yeah, prior to the explosion of all the Star Trek and Star Wars franchise sales, you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s, Paramount was doing, these studios were doing nothing. They were doing nothing. And so it was artists and hobbyists and, you know, doing stuff in their garage and offering it to friends and family is how we graciously have been able to have some of these iconic builds. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them.
No, it was excellent. Ian, just to answer your question, I'm on an ale tonight, a Banks Amber Ale. And I finished it. I finished a drink for a change on a stream. Wow. I don't drink. But look,
you don't drink, you will after this.
This has been a lot of fun, and I'm sure we will put our heads together and we're going to think about what we're going to do next. But I hope you've all enjoyed this as much as we have. This has been an adventure, not just by building the model, but the whole experience of getting to meet Lou in his headquarters of Aztek Towers, or like the Avengers pictures I made, and travel across to Louisville to Wonderfest. I got to go to LA and buy lots of stuff and see Phil.
We brought another one to
great
Wonderfest. I'm 2 for 2.
So
you don't know I get paid for bringing people in.
And obviously, I'm building a gremlin at the moment, so that's going to be fun. I've just there's a lot of prep on that one though.
Is it a resin cast?
It's a resin cast. It needs quite a bit of cleanup, which I'm doing at the moment, and I don't know. Look, I can actually switch camera. Actually, I've oh, not that one. There, you see, I've primed it so far. The chair ready for flocking, so it's ready to go. But I was just again talking to Lou before the stream. The letters that say Gremlins need so much filling, sanding, and then I've got to figure out the paint because it's got like a background to the letters. So trying to get something in there to paint that, as Lou suggested, perhaps just doing a wash on the back to make it like a darker back. But I'll figure that out when I get to it. It's all fun. But we've all got projects doing, and they're all on our channel. So once again, Lou, you can find over at Aztek Dummy. Phil, you can find over at Sprueverse, and obviously you're watching me now. So, and look, yeah, Phil's doing the space shuttle, which we went to the Dulles Space Museum, and you took about 2 million pictures. So you've got so many reference photos there.
I do, but can I tell you quickly? Just want to share with you this. And I
see, Phil, I would have taken those spare Chi Bang Bang wings and put it on the shuttle.
This comes from the UK.
Okay.
It weighs an absolute ton.
That's embossed at the front as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is the most spectacular book about the NASA program that you will ever find, with photos with up close and personal photos with detail that is absolutely extraordinary.
That's crazy. You got to come all the way to the UK to get stuff for a US
program. So the reference photos are absolutely extraordinary. And what I'm doing is I'm building it exactly as it is with you standing in front of it. The Discovery, on its last, they're parked. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. But there's not a lot of aftermarket stuff for it, but I'm enjoying it.
But that's a 1/72 scale. So how does that equate to size wise? I don't.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but it's massive. It's from Revell.
Yeah.
Monogram had one, but Revell improved the windows. They corrected the windows, and they made some other corrections, as I understand it. But this is really all about decals, paint, and a few aftermarket parts. But great fun.
Excellent. But as you can see, we're all working hard on that. But that's it. Can you believe it's almost 9 o'clock? That's gone so quick. But once again, Lou, Phil, thanks for joining me on the channel. I said, well, I'll make this available so you can share this on your channels as well. And this has been an absolute experience. Experience. And I can't thank you both enough.
No, great fun. Cool. This is it's really fun. Thank you. Thank you, both of you.
Okay, take care. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye, everybody.
Have fun.
Okay, we're back on the big screen again now. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't need my headphones now. This is the first time in a long time that I've used this streaming program. So I am aware the quality is not probably as sharp as it normally is, but they will process it afterwards and it will get a lot sharper if you watch it on demand. But we had a blast doing this, and the memories, it's not just the build. I mean, I consider some of the model building that I've been doing since I created the channel a bit like records, you know, that it reminds you of an occasion. You hear a song and it reminds you of a time. But building these models reminds me of a time that we had. It's a moment, which I think is really good. But we did manage to do what we set out to achieve. And I myself and Lou did see Phil's working. He had it working. As a matter of fact, before he put it in his time machine, he had it strapped to a vise, and the speed it was going, you could probably use it as a fan. It was pretty amazing. But there you go. Your war machine was $39. Was that the plated one though, Frank? Was that this plated one? Because I've seen them for $39, but the plated one seems to be going for $100 upwards at the moment. But it's all crazy. But listen, thanks for joining the live stream. As I said, tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, Monday will be the next video on the channel. There'll only be 3 videos next week. There's going to be no live streams next week because I'm not here. So no Patreon streams. There's going to be no stream on Tuesday, no stream on Thursday. So I will probably just update you on my adventures in the Isle of Wight, which has got the Jurassic coastline. So hopefully we'll be hunting dinosaurs. It'll be a bit like a Jurassic Park there. But once again, look, thank you for joining the stream. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the other side of my holiday. Take care.